Hello, everybody. I'm not feeling so well, so we'll see if I can get through class. But I may have COVID. We don't know. It feels like a bad cold, but we'll see. I have a test kit. I can take the test. So anyway, let's make the mudra for the offering the mandala, please. Here is the great earth filled with the smell of incense and covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, the four continents wearing a jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of a Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being in the pure world experience the pure world. Idam Guru Ratnam Mandalakam Niritayame. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration, wisdom. May I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, sorry about that, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joy separate with the understanding of emptiness, concentration, wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of every living being. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. And the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration, wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay. Rejoicing. That's who we're going to start. We're going to start with Katrina.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Venerable Sumati. Я очень радуюсь тому, что у нас сегодня...
I'm rejoicing a lot that today we have a class. I'm grateful very much for these classes. Please take care about yourself. If you don't feel well, please take care of yourself. Please stay with us as much long as it's possible. I'm rejoicing that we had a day of the teacher and on Saturday, and we were meeting with Victoria and Svetlana and with other guys who are studying, and it was very nice.
I'm sorry, I just got the last part of that. I didn't have the interpretation on right. Can you repeat that?
Yes, sure, Lama Sumati. Ekaterina started to talk about that. Please take care of yourself. We want very much that you stay with us as much longer as it's only possible. Please take care of yourself. And the second part of rejoicing was about Day of the Teacher in Russia on Saturday. And Ekaterina said that we get together with Victoria and with other students and have a meeting all together.
Oh, good, good. Okay, Katya, you're up next.
Hi, hello, everybody. I rejoice that I did my homework that I have pending for the course. During the weekend, I did the homework and the quizzes. And also I rejoice that I can be here with all of you. I see a very nice group with beautiful people, and I know that that is auto-existent and is for my good seeds that I have planted. And I'm very glad about that. And also I see that I'm empty of see a great group and a very lovely teacher, and that is also empty of auto existence. And the situation also, I can see the emptiness. So I'm very happy that I have been planting good seeds.
Wow, that covers just about everything. Good. Yeah, I think we take for now that we've learned about emptiness and things like that. I sometimes think we take it for granted that we know everything. Not everything, because we haven't seen emptiness directly, but we know all about it. And I think it's good to stop and look at your day and look at what's going on and remind yourself of the three spheres and all of that. So, okay, Daria, you're up next.
Good morning, Venerable Sumati. Please get well, please take care and stay with us. And yeah, I'm happy. I told you I bought this book, it's Lama Sarani, and I started to read. I'm reading this book, but I'm going to do some plan. She write what we can do, and I tried do what she write, and I'm happy today. I help some people with translation. It was very early at 3:00, 3:30. I wake up and I tried the translation and read some text for Russian students. It was in Dr. Ward concert.
What? Wow. Wow. Very good. Now we've got to get you a copy of my books on nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
If my wife has, if you have one of my wife's books, you have to. I'm kidding, of course. But well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying her book. I'll share that with her. That'll make her very happy. Someday you'll have to meet and we'll have to get her to autograph it for you. Okay, Svetlana, what's up? What's up for you?
Hello there, Venerable Sumati. Please take care, and I'm rejoicing that we have these precious classes and meetings. And as a rejoicing, maybe I would share some case about emptiness of three spheres. On Saturday, after the gym training, I was returning back on my way, and there is a church, and there are many beggars and people without some parts of the bodies. And before that, I was afraid to go through those side of the road, and I was trying to go on the other side of the road. And so I was like distancing from them. But in those days, I was passing by them, and I gave to one person some donation, and to another person 10 times more. And yeah, it was because I understood that I'm perceiving this retarded people because my seeds of my past karmic seeds forcing me to perceive them in this way, that they are without resources, without not physically healthy, and just by taking care of them I can change those seeds, because me empty, they can perceive themselves as a perfect being, and the whole situation is also empty, so I can give them an offering which can which can make them happier and change my projections. So this kind of rejoicing.
Very good. It's important when you find yourself on the other side of the road because you're frightened. Now, if there are three guys that looks like they'll beat you up, you don't cross the other side of the road, but you recognize that there's suffering. I consider myself somewhat handicapped now because of Parkinson's, and you don't really appreciate what it means to be handicapped until you are. And then it really strikes home that this world is designed around people that aren't handicapped. So, and I've been involved. Well, actually, I don't think you've heard this story. Maybe you have. We had to put in 2 handicap parking spaces at Diamond Mountain University at the temple. And I was very adamant that no one parked there unless they had handicap sticker. And so one day, Alice, I don't remember her last name, was a student. She came to me and said, would it be possible for me to do community service here? I got ticketed for parking in a handicap zone. It's $250, but the judge said I could do 10 hours of community service and negate it. And I said, well, sure, Alice, here's a list of things I need done. Well, she showed up for one of them and didn't show up for the rest. And she came to me and said, will you sign this paper? And I said, Alice, you did 1 hour, not 10. I can't sign it. And she was not pleased with that, but I think for me, it was protecting my karma for allowing people to park in the handicap parking. I had to tell Geshe Michael and Lama Christie that they had to move their car. So everybody said, this is never going to happen. We don't have to worry about that. Well, I talked to a district attorney, U.S. district attorney, and he said, if a handicapped person comes to a parking spot and can't park there, they can complain because someone who's not handicapped is parked there. They can complain to the federal government, and then the federal government can come and look over your entire property and identify where you need to upgrade your handicap stuff, which would mean drastic changes in how Diamond Mountains run. So I knew I had to be adamant about people not parking there, but it was, you don't really think of the consequences. So that all comes back to the handicap and appreciating that they have diminished ability to do stuff, and how can you help them? But you have to be careful about helping them. Make sure you're helping them in a positive way. So, okay, very good. Lydia, what do you have?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Lama Sumati. I would like to rejoice about DC 12. I came to this event and it's about gratitude. But I'm so lucky that I understand that it's about emptiness and about different schools. And I was happy about that. And today in the evening, I was a little bit grumpy, but I opened...
How could you ever be grumpy?
Yes. And I opened my book and I wrote some gratitude for my mom. And I noticed that my mind was changed, and it's really a miracle. So I'm happy about that. I have this tool for changing my mind.
Good. Well, that's exactly why you do it. That's wonderful. It's very good. We have to repair it, but there's an app you can put on your phone that I created to keep in your book. But the guy who did the programming has disappeared and we can't get to the source code. So we're going to try and rebuild it I hope starting this month, and then we'll release it again. But it was really nice to use on your phone because most people have their phone with them all the time. So, okay, Mike, what do you have to rejoice in?
Hey, good morning. This weekend I went up to New York City and I met with some people at Three Jewels. So I just want to rejoice in finding some Sangha on the East Coast that's within short driving distance.
Mhm.
And for actually making the trip up there. I had been planning for a while to go up, and I finally just pulled the trigger and made the decision. And just just rejoicing in how um, time changes things and how seeds ripen. Because I was looking at Three Jewels last year, and I don't know if I sent an email or like an Instagram message or something, but I didn't hear back from anyone. And it was like, it went from that last year, like me reaching out and not hearing back, to after a year of collecting karma, it's like I was now being like invited up there, and I walk in and people know my name. So it's like, I had one karma last year and now I have this completely new karma, and I wasn't focusing on changing it. It just changed.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. Um, there's a phrase I've used for many years, and I think I can remember it. The surest way to puncture a pleasure is to over-anticipate its occurrence. And when you think about that, you think someone like you go to Three Jewels, if you email them and you expect a response and you don't get one, but then you go and you get a response and it's wonderful. So, so everything's got to be put in perspective. And the perspective I like to put everything into is karma and emptiness. You didn't, like you said, you didn't have the seeds to get the response. So there are two solutions to that. You can go, well, the hell with these people. Or you can say, I need to develop the karma to see that. So I need to respond quickly to anybody who asks me for information and joyfully do all the things in that response that you'd like someone to do for you in response. And that's how you set the seeds to see that, knowing that that three spheres is the way to make your life better. So very good. Who'd you meet with up there?
I met with Juanita, and then I took a class from Rachel Webb.
I don't. I knew a Rachel. Dark. Does she have dark hair?
Hmm.
I think I know. I think I know her. Well,
Yeah.
I've heard of her anyway. Oh, okay. Well, good. How long a drive is it to go up to New York?
I went to Philadelphia first, so it was like an hour and a half from Baltimore to Philly, and then it was like two hours to New York,
Wow.
2:15.
Wow. Did you find parking easily?
I did. I found parking on the same block that Three Jewels
No.
was on.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, wow, karma.
Really? Thank you, Karma God. Wow. Well, good. Okay. Alexander.
Hello, Venerable Sumati. I'm rejoicing that I was able to complete an important proof of concept project together with a colleague. And I dedicate this to all living beings, that they come closer and to achieve the great goal of enlightenment for the benefit of all.
Good for you. Good
Mm.
for you.
Mm.
We're going to see Alexander and his lovely wife. I hope I'm okay on Thursday. You want to try the curry ice cream?
I will try it, yes.
Okay. Katya, have I served you curry ice cream before?
No,
Are you interested in trying it? Good. Good. Okay. We'll have to figure that out. But okay, Tatiana, what's up with you? Oh,
Здравствуйте. Ой,
Hello.
Живы, здоровы, чему
We
и
are
рады.
alive and healthy, and we are rejoicing about it.
very good. Hi, Mom. Good. Okay. Evgeny, what do you have to rejoice in?
Всем привет. Я сегодня радуюсь тому,
Hello,
что
everyone. Today
ко
I'm
мне
rejoicing
наконец-то
that
пришла книга «Досточтимый
soon
Сарани». Я
book
начал
of
ее читать,
Venerable Sarani
и
came
мне
to me,
показалось,
and
что
I started to
если
read
бы
it.
читал человек,
And
который
it
никогда
seemed
не
to
слышал
me that
ничего о
if
семенах,
a
мне
person
кажется, что
who
ему
didn't hear
понравится.
nothing about
То есть,
seeds,
то есть там
this
такое
person would
начало о том,
love
что
this
прям,
book.
нет
There
ни
is such a
слова о
beginning
буддизме
that
в
there
семенах.
is
Это
no
просто какая-то
a word
классная
about
история,
Buddhism.
которая
There is such a
увлекает
story
дальше идти
which
вперед.
is
Ну, то есть
so
заканчивается
exciting
одна
and
глава, начинается что-то
captivating
другое.
further.
И
One
я
chapter ends
подумал,
and
что
something
я
new
знаю,
starts.
кому я
And
смогу
I
подарить
thought
эту
that
книгу.
I know
Я
who
знаю
I
человека,
can present
кто
this
не
book.
верит ни во
I
что,
know
но
a
хочет
person who
получить
doesn't
ответы.
believe in
И мне кажется,
anything
прям то,
but
что я
want to
прочитал,
get
это прям в точку
answers.
бьет
And I think that what I read,
на все
that is
вопросы,
just
которые есть у этого
exactly
человека, там есть все ответы.
what
Я думаю, что
can
я подарю
be an
эту
answer to
книгу
all
ему.
questions of this person. And I think I will make as a gift this book to this person.
Wow. Well, that's very nice. I'll, do you take any classes from Lama Sarani?
Да,
Yes,
я записывал ее
Well,
курсы несколько.
next time you get a chance to rejoice, have you shared that with her?
Нет, только сегодня книга пришла, я только начал читать.
no, the book was received just today. I just started to read
Got
it.
it. Well, I'll share with her, but that's a very sweet, and that's the whole point of her writing the book, was to have exactly that happen. So I'm really, really very happy for her, for you, and for your friend. That's really, that's just so cool. Now you need to read one of my books on nuclear weapons too. It's only fair. Okay. Anna, do you have anything you can add?
Anna wrote that she is just recording today.
Okay. Now, how about my rejoicing? Well, I woke up and I felt pretty sick. And I got up and I had my second fall, which is, I didn't hurt myself, but it took me 20 minutes to get up off the floor because I was so weak. So that brought back to my mind the fact that I have physical problems, health problems that I need to be very careful about. So I feel much better now. And I have a quick COVID test that I'll take after class. And I'm hoping I don't have COVID because I have an appointment to have lunch with wonderful students, and I really want to keep that appointment. So now we've got to figure out how we're going to do the curry ice cream. I have to figure that out. Oh, okay. Yeah, Cornelius, Alexander. We'll have to come. Why don't you come to the house at 12:15, and we'll go down and get the soft serve ice cream and make the curry ice cream. And then we'll somehow figure out how to take it to the restaurant with us so that we can have dessert afterwards. I'll figure something out. Okay, what do I have to rejoice in? I rejoice that I didn't get upset with my falling. I put in perspective. I know I have to be more careful. And Well, that's not really my rejoicing. What's my rejoicing? I rejoice that that Sarani and I are taking this huge trip. This is the biggest trip we've taken teaching. And I rejoice that we're doing this. We can't wait to get started. It's going to be a tremendous amount of fun. And I'm so grateful for the students that are making it happen. But what do I really have to rejoice in? Oh, I know. I rejoice that I've finished. I'm able to put aside my various projects and focus my attention on the teaching that's coming up instead of packing a bunch of books to use for my research. I'm focusing my attention on what we're going to teach. It's not that I don't have it in the past, but this time I'm really going to focus on the material. And so that's a pretty big step for me, because my idea of a swell time is not only teaching the Dharma, but researching these various nuclear weapons subjects. And so I'm putting it all in perspective. And I think that's going to be great. Okay, well, let's get started. Today's class is on emptiness and the perfection of wisdom. So now Subhuti asks Lord Buddha, what should we call this sutra? What is its name? And Lord Buddha says, this sutra is Sherabki Peltu Jimpa, the perfection of wisdom. Nowhere in the sutra does Lord Buddha call it the Dhammapada Sutra. And Dhamma is never even mentioned, as we've discussed before. So I'm kind of curious who first was the first to call it the Dhammapada Sutra. And the fact that Geshe Michael couldn't find it means it's probably nowhere in history. That's lost. But I think it'd be fun to find out. So there are 4 kinds of the perfection of wisdom. There's a natural perfection of wisdom. This term is often used to refer to the collection of sutras and commentaries that are about emptiness. I'm sorry, that's not true. I skipped a line. Natural perfection of wisdom is the fact that, oh, this isn't congruous too. Emptiness has never inspired a negative state of mind, ever, in someone who sees it directly. The textual perfection of wisdom, this term is used to refer to the collection of sutras and commentaries that are about emptiness, presenting the Mahayana path. The path of the perfection of wisdom, that wisdom of Bodhisattva is imbued with, and the method, which are code words for correct view and bodhicitta. And the result perfection of wisdom is the omniscience of a Buddha. The true meaning of perfection, or paramita, is gone to the other side. Oh, I wonder if I should, can I remember these jokes? Well, my wife made up 4 Dharma chicken jokes, which are really quite funny. I wonder if they'd make it through the translation. Let me see if I can remember them. No, I can't. We'll have her tell the jokes when we have lunch. They're very funny. I was doing some translation with Geshe Michael at the very end of our retreat, and we walked up the hill to where everybody was waiting to meet with him. And I looked up, and my wife had a microphone, and she was talking to the group and really working the crowd, which is something I've never seen her do before. She was telling her Dharma chicken jokes for the first time, and they were really funny. But what was really sweet was seeing her. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say work the crowd. She wasn't just standing there with a microphone. She was walking amongst everybody. It was spectacular. Anyway, which of those four is the true perfection of wisdom? The last one, because it's the goal, the omniscience of a Buddha. When an action of body, speech, or mind is done and dedicated to one's bodhicitta, it is called the paramita of perfection. But Geshe Michael calls it a perfectionizer, meaning it will bring you to perfection. So every time you do a good deed, you need to dedicate it to that perfection that's close to it. What's the I have one of the dedications. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow, and may that born never decline. So dedication, we haven't talked much about dedication, but it's really important. It's just simple. You dedicate it toward your enlightenment. If you just say that, you get the credit for dedicating it. And that means it can't be destroyed by a fit of anger at a bodhisattva. And since we don't know who bodhisattvas are, anytime you get angry, you're basically getting angry at a bodhisattva. So don't get depressed about it. Okay. We can practice the six perfections even before we've achieved true bodhicitta. You can't perfect the perfections until you're a Buddha. But you can work on perfecting them until you're a Buddha. Okay. Which of these four is Subhuti talking about when he asks, what shall we call this book? He's referring to the textual perfection of wisdom. So back to the sutra. The Lord Buddha says to Subhuti, does this perfection of wisdom exist? And Subhuti says, no. And the Lord Buddha congratulates Subhuti, saying, right. And this is exactly why we can call it the perfection of wisdom. This exchange holds the entire meaning of the Majjhima. Yeah. I was going to say something. Oh, well. The middle way is literally referring to a winding path that goes along the steep cliffs on either side. And this steep cliff on either side are the two extremes. It's really important that you remember what we mean by two extremes. If you physically fall off the cliff, you die. But in this case, the meaning is much worse than that because it means a big waste. You just lost everything. Not your life. You just wait for something precious and valuable. If you wander off to either side, it's worse than dying. So why is that true? Dying only ruins you for one life. Falling off the two extreme cliffs wastes countless lifetimes. So I need to study the extremes well if we're going to get even close to seeing what we want, to seeing emptiness directly. So the two extremes, Utah, existence extreme, believing that everything exists just the way it looks to us, and Metta, nothing exists extreme. This is a belief that comes out of an incorrect or insufficient teaching on emptiness. It is the belief that things do not exist in the way they seem to. They must not exist at all. So it doesn't matter what we do. Now, this to me is inconsistent, but anybody who thinks that, but I might as well just do anything I want to do. Morality has no validity. There's no such thing as karma. It comes out of a misunderstanding of teaching on emptiness. That's because, what do we always say? we always say, if you're going to teach emptiness to pen, you've got to teach about karma. If you do just one or the other, it's insufficient. And you risk the student working on falling into one of the two extremes. This viewpoint exists in many people's minds, but that which it believes in, the self-existence of self-existent thing, does not exist at all. We can say the sky is green, but there's no truth to it. It does not exist. A green sky simply does not exist. But believing the sky is green could exist in someone's mind. So the phrase Utah, we are holding it something as existing that doesn't even exist. We blame all these non-existing things for all of our upsets. Are they really out there? Now, see, this is the kind of question that is new to Buddhism, as my wife and I were. This is the kind of question Geshe Michael asked in that teaching in Tucson. And it got me all kinds of confused. Is a boss, the irritating boss, really not there? No, he's there. But where is it all coming from, really? The irritating boss that looks bad from their side is the extreme, holding its existence as correct, is innate in sentient beings. On the other hand, the fact that the belief that nothing belief also does not exist, the fact that nothing exists, you can do anything you want. The point is to get us to understand that those things we always thought of out there themselves, existently, are not out there self-existently. We do not need to imagine they're not there. We need to recognize they were never out there to begin with. It doesn't mean they're not out there. It doesn't mean your boss isn't out there. It doesn't mean your parents aren't out there. It means they're not out there in the way you think. That's very important. Geshe says, often has said, if you think that there's nothing out there, then walk in front of a cab and see what happens when it hits you. It hits you and may break your legs, but that's coming from your karma. So a person at work that you never liked, all of a sudden you see as a friend. Was it that? What is it that really changed? Your projections, your karma shifted. Did the person change from their side? No. This is the implication of holding to Utah and to holding to Takta. Believing that things come from their own side because they exist independent. That's not, doesn't make sense with the other factors we know. Now that we know this, we do not just sit around waiting for karma to ripen. We use the four forces, keeping our vows, tracking our vows, meditating and studying. It is not that nothing is out there. It is not even the things are empty, they exist. It is because things are empty, things can exist. Things do exist as projections forced by the karma of my past behaviors. So again, because things are empty, things can exist. They do exist as projections forced by the karma of my past behaviors. Because of this, things are empty of self-existence. We must be moral. Our behavior towards others is what causes the circumstance of our future, both immediate and long term. And remember that movement of the mind and the resultant action of body and speech. Geshe teaches how to get rid of the existence of not things that are out there, so I don't have to worry what I do, by understanding that dependent origination, how projections work, which is the key to the last stages of the path of preparation. Geshe says you can get rid of thinking things out of the way they look to you. If you can come to understand how your mind is constantly making projections, mental pictures, and we will know these things look to be out there on their own, but they really aren't. Emptiness, the understanding of emptiness is like what light does to darkness. It reveals what is there. Understanding emptiness correctly dispels this wrong belief that things do not matter. I reiterate, because things are empty, they do exist. Because things are empty, they can change. Because things are empty, we can see ourselves as Buddhas. So for someone to say that because things are empty, nothing matters is so completely wrong, that's inconceivable now that we know what's going on. So this is a quote from the Three Principal Paths. A person to enter the path that pleases the Buddha when for all objects in a cycle or beyond, he sees that cause and effect can never fail, and for when for him they lose all solid appearance. You've yet to realize the thought of the able, as long as two ideas seem to you disparate, the appearance of things, infallible interdependence, and emptiness beyond taking any position. At some point they come together. They no longer alternate, but come together. Just seeing how interdependence never fails brings realization that destroys how you hold the object, and then your analysis of the view is complete. Those are the beautiful, beautiful description of what we're trying to do. Okay, there are four great facts. Two do not exist and two do exist. Nothing exists naturally, i.e. from its own side. That's a fact. That's true. But it is not nothing exists at all. Things exist in name only as projections, but it is not that everything exists naturally. Understanding these four ideas about how things exist is what keeps us on that narrow path between the two extremes. So reinstate the four. It is true that nothing exists in the way it seems, but it is not true that nothing exists at all. It is true that everything is a projection, but it does not mean that things exist in the way you thought. If you had to summarize the Majjhimika philosophy, those four statements would do the trick. So that's all I have for you today. It's a pretty short class. That's good because I'm really not feeling that great. Okay, let's dedicate. Where's my favorite? Here we are. May the source of benefit and goodness, the Dharma, spread and expand. May the beings upholding the Dharma have excellent health. May the source of happiness and well-being for all embodied beings, the Dharma top of the Buddhas, always increase. May the merit of my life and my practice be for the benefit of all my students without exception. Okay. Well, I'm going to go take my COVID test, and hopefully this is just a bad cold. So we will see shortly. I'm really looking forward to Thursday. I just hope I can go. Okay. Take care. So this is, oh, no class on Thursday. I have Tara Soak that I'll be doing with students around the world. So no class Thursday. And there are no classes the next week because that's when Geshe is teaching. So we'll resume 2 weeks from today and get class 10 done. So, okay. Just seeing your lovely faces makes me feel better. So thank you for that. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Благодарю.
Thank
Good
you
night.
so much. Get well soon and looking forward to see you. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.